6, Yeomin Lim. Number 7, Jermaine C. Number 8, Sarah Tan. Number 9, Amanda Lim. Number 11, Wei Min Ko. Number 12, Choi Ting Tan. Number 15, Cheryl Poon. Number 19, Alanna Lim. Number 21, Yukie Yoshida. And number 22, Ariel Loja. The coach is Kurt Muir. And their opponents today from Team Thailand. Number 4, Wimborne Sachua. Number 6, PENPHAN YOTHANAN. Number 8, Sukawati Kunchuan. Number 9, JUTHAMAS JANTAKAN. Number 12, Suiman Santa. Number 13, Achara Kacharyapan. Number 14, JUTHATHIP MATHUROS. Number 15, Narwan Bambu. Number 86, Nuchawaran Wafla. Number 88, SUPIRA KLANBUT. Number 91, Didapon Maihon. Number 99, SUREE PHROMRAT. Coach is Christopher Daniel. I'd like to request everyone to stand to rise and pay respects to both teams' national anthems. Team Singapore. Team Thailand.
Welcome to the Marba Hall, here the venue of the basketball competition on day 3 of competition, and the first women's match of the day featuring Team Singapore and Thailand. Singapore have put themselves behind the 8 ball after losses in their first 2 matches against Philippines and Malaysia, so this is a must-win match as we have a look at the umpires for this game. And for Team Thailand, they actually are taking part in only their second match of the competition in this round-robin format, and they stroll to victory in their first game against Vietnam by 86-35. That's the Singapore team roster, with Jacqueline Chu being the top scorer in the game against Malaysia with 12 points. They actually did pretty well against the Malaysians, coming back strongly in the 3rd and 4th quarters before fading out and allowing the Malaysians to score the final 10 points of that ball game to stretch the lead big enough to a 19-point game. They lost to Philippines 88-54 as we have a look at their starting five. So Jacqueline does start, and ALANNA too, who pulled down 10 rebounds against the Malaysians to lead all rebounders on the Singapore side. PHROMRAT is the Singapore coach, the American. Two American coaches on the bench, in fact, for Singapore and Thailand, as the girls go through their paces in the warm-ups to make sure that they get their shooting hand all in line and in sync against a Thai team that puts out a very, very experienced lineup, hoping to win the gold medal, which they did in the previous two editions. They only finished third at the 2015 SEA Games. They've won 7 gold medals in all in SEA Games competition. They beat Singapore the last time out at the SEA Games by 46-83, 83-46, as we have a look at their starting five, which includes SUREE PHROMRAT, who is one of the best point guards in Southeast Asia in women's basketball, and Double J at the center as well, the figure of JUTHAMAS JANTAKAN. That is their head coach, Christopher D'Aleo, also an American, and he's just been given the job after their debacle at the SEBA Championships, where they didn't finish with a medal at all for the first time. So D'Aleo's given charge of this team since July onwards. He has been fully in charge in the Thai Basketball League already with high-tech Bangkok City. So he does know the city well enough, and he knows the style of play that the Thais like to employ. Not the biggest side, but very, very quick and very fluid in terms of their ball movement and looking for the outside shooters, and boy can they shoot from the outside. Malaysia and Indonesia have won 2 matches so far. The Philippines, after beating Singapore, went down to the Indonesians yesterday. So Malaysia looking good to defend the title that they won in 2015. And Singapore, remember, it's a must-win match if they have any hopes of securing a medal for the first time since 2003. That was also the last time they beat Thailand at the SEA Games by 70-56. And the girls need to take the feel-good factor of the SEBA Championships with them into this match, because there they beat Thailand by 76-67 to clinch a bronze medal. That very much was the nod of approval from the authorities for their travel to KL.
Win this game. Win this game.
So it's D'Aleo knows his instructions to the team must be short and crisp, because it has to go through an interpreter as well, whereas Murad...
Everybody speed positions every single time, reverse the ball, get it up the floor. Okay, make sure your passes, if they tip passes, that's their game.
I'll get out.
Okay. Here we go.
They looked to ALANNA Lim a lot against the Malaysians,
Comes down on the tip.
just to set the screens, and a lot of them have been illegal screens in the game against the Malaysians in the first half, which really frustrated the coach. And hopefully it will be a different ball game this time against the Thais. Like I said, against the Malaysians, they faced a deficit and then came back strong after some very, very good shooting from the likes of CHERYL POON and Ariel Loiter. Late in the third, going into the fourth, they whittled it down to a 10-point game. Then the Malaysians kept missing shots, but the Singaporeans couldn't take full advantage of it. And after that, it was all Malaysia. Tip ball goes to Thailand as we tip off for Singapore's third game at the SEA Games. The Thais looking for an early 3 to start the game off, and they get it straight away. YOTHANAN, who was top scorer against Singapore at the last SEA Games with 13 points, gets off to a hot start after just 5 seconds. 3 big points for Thailand to start the game off. CHERYL POON looking to control the floor. ALANNA Lim dragged outside of the paint, looking to set up screens high up in order for the shooters to come. Yoshida, though, throws the ball away, the first turnover. And Singapore can't keep giving those balls away. Well, if they're going to have any chance of surviving in this game, as we have a look at Sarah Jane Tan, good to see her back on court, because she missed the whole of the second half for Murad yesterday after injuring her ankle against the Malaysians. But if they're going to have any chance of surviving against the Thais, they have to rely on their hot shooters. Lim Chia Min had such a hot game at SEBA against Thailand, as we see another 3-pointer finding nothing but net. The swish of the Thais, and the number 6, YOTHANAN PENPHAN. 6 points for Thailand, 6 points for YOTHANAN. Singapore facing a very early deficit as CHERYL POON tries to recover that with a long 3. Stepped out of bounds. Singapore keep the ball. perfect start for the Thais, who got their stroke and their sink very early on for Daleo. But they had a very hot scoring streak in the form of Lim Chia Min against Thailand at the SEABA Championships. The caveat though is that Thailand brought a very young team to the SEABA. Nice little crossover move trying to attack the basket. Is that going to be a travel call? In fact, it's going to be a foul called on the Thais. A little reach-in by the lady who scored all the points of the game so far, YOTHANAN PENPHAN. CHERYL Poon has that in her locker. A little crossover to befuddle and flummoxed any team that she has come up against. The Malaysians couldn't deal with it in the third quarter, and you need to see a little bit more of that. The moment they get inside and cut and attack the rim, that's when the Thais and their opponents just clamp down, and you have the opportunity to throw out one of your outside shooters. Sarah Jane Tan asked for the ball. They went inside, but it wasn't a good pass at all by Yoshida. They throw it away twice already. Singapore, 2 turnovers. The Thais looking for that little J. Couldn't get it to fall though from PHROMRAT. Sarah Jane Tan with a long 3 off the rim. She was under pressure and she had time. Looking for the easy shot now. Yoshida passes it out to CHERYL. CHERYL looks for the opening and then goes to attack the rim. CHERYL Poon throws it up off the board, and Thailand keep ball. Onto the fast break now, the Thais. Get a trip to the charity stripe. SUREE PHROMRAT, as I said, one of the fastest point guards that you'll see in Southeast Asian women's basketball. So Singapore's shots haven't fallen at all, which is pretty strange because they usually fall in the early part of the game. They usually get off to very hot starts, but not against the Thais at the moment, who have certainly got their stroke in sync. And SUREE PHROMRAT knocks down 1 out of 2. Sarah Jane Tan does well enough to marshal her opponents out of play in order for that easy rebound. Jacqueline Chu, CHERYL, Yoshida open for the 3. Doesn't get it. Rebound though comes back to Singapore. Got to start making those shots. 5 on the shot clock now. Sarah Jane Tan with a hook. Finally, they're on the board. Thanks to Sarah Jane. The Thais looking for the movement just outside, looking to control the paint. A jumper short. Jacqueline quick enough to come away and scurry with the ball open for the 3. Decides to pass up on it. CHERYL Poon once again looking to attack the rim. Yoshida back inside to ALANNA, working her body strength up and just tries a little hook shots which didn't work out. Once again, they're missing those baskets, which might prove lethal and fatal in the end. The Thais almost knocking another one down with a soft hand. Yoshida, Sarah Jane all across court. Oh, that was a pass that was meant for Jacqueline Chu, but it was right in between Jacqueline and CHERYL. So another thrown away. That's 3 turnovers for Singapore now in the first 3 minutes of this ball game. Not a good sign. The Thais have missed their last 3 shots. Traveling right under the referee's nose. Called on JUTHAMAS JANTAKAN. Sarah Jane passes it off to Yoshida. Was thinking about the 3 for a while and decided to pass it off herself to ALANNA. Tried to get CHERYL involved, but there was a reach and foul on Supari Kunchuan. Got to make full use of the ball now and make sure that the off ball running and the movement is there. CHERYL Poon open for the 3, the first to be knocked down perhaps for Singapore. The answer is no. Jacqueline keeps it alive with another rebound for Singapore. They've been doing well on the offensive boards, but they haven't taken advantage of their second chance points. CHERYL right underneath the basket, had no room to maneuver. Thailand did well enough to box her out. Hongchuan reverse layup, sweet enough. Supandi Kunchuan with her first points of the ball game. Really strong press here by the Thais. Alanna's finally got some space and some room. Travels though, and another turnover by Singapore. Well, bounce pass was good enough. It was, in fact, a very good pass by Yoshida inside to ALANNA, but she took some time off, waited for the contact, which never came, and the next thing you know, she had no time to really throw the ball up and find the basket. The Thais with a bounce in their steps. Thitapon in the game for the first time. Short J comes up short. CHERYL POON looking for the flankers, looking to make sure that there always is an availability outside. Yoshida with a clever pass inside, but once again they clamp down so very quickly. CHERYL POON in and out. It just hasn't been falling for Singapore from downtown. Good hustle though in the paint. Amanda Lim in the ball game with her first points of the ball game. 5 points now, the deficit. Thitapon. Whistle had been called already before she threw up the prayer. Has a charging foul on her. Aerial loiter. How hot was she at the end of the third quarter and the start of the fourth, where everything she was throwing up had such a beautiful shape and arc to it. It was always falling in and was magnetized to the middle of the basket. Rape in to Yoshida. He's done well enough with the quick hands to find open teammates, especially in the paint. Traveling yet again. That's a 5th turnover for Singapore now, and it's the 2nd time the ALANNA Lim has been called for traveling. Well, she looks a little perplexed, but the referee called it instantly the moment she moved. 5 turnovers for Singapore. They can't keep turning the ball over against this rampant Thai side, who have been missing their shots though, giving Singapore an opportunity to stay alive in this match. Wei Bin once again looking for the open lady, can't find it. Amanda cuts right through. Underhand layup though, was always under pressure. Thitapon. Happy to go inside, and somehow the ball does fall. Reverse layup doesn't go, the rebound does go for Singapore. Yoshida will pick it up and pick up a rebound. Just behind loiter. That wasn't the best of passes from Yoshida. It wasn't well handled as from loiter. Was that a charging foul? Because ALANNA stood her ground, and I think it's called by the referee. Good call by the referee. ALANNA stood firm, didn't move at all, and faced the contact. Double J on the court now. JUTHAMAS JANTAKAN of Thailand. The SUPIRA KLANBUT came right into the body of ALANNA Lim, who was the top rebounder against the Thais at the SEA Games. 8 rebounds, and had that 10 against the Malaysians. Wei Bin to aerial loiter. They haven't gotten the 3-pointers a fall yet, Singapore, despite taking 4 of them already. Wei Bin's pass was well watched all the way, well anticipated by the Thais. Here they come coast to coast looking for the foul and the free throws. They don't get the points, they do get the free throws. Yoshida taking one for the team with 3:33 left on the clock in the first quarter. Supavdi Kunchuan makes the first of 2 from the charity stripe. And this to bring it up to a 6-point ball game once again. And it does go. It's a 7-point ball game now. Wei Bin, almost all of a sudden, it's a 3-on-1 break. Wei Bin right under the basket. Well watched though by the Thais, who stood firm defensively. Yoshida, Wei Bin on the outside, always under pressure. ALANNA with a reverse layup, gets the roll. Finally, she gets one to go. Her first points of the game. 6-11, and somehow, because the Thais conspired to miss 7 of their last 8 shots, Singapore have a lifeline. And this after the Thais made the first couple of 3-pointers in the match. ALANNA hustles, gets the ball. Is that going to be a jump ball? No, it's not. It's going to be Singapore's ball. All due to the determination of ALANNA Lim. Coming up against a very, very big Narong Banmu. And that's the contact which was seen by the referee. And Banmu picks up her first personal. Just when you thought the game was slipping away, and that's another turnover. It's the 7th in this first quarter alone for Singapore. Coast to coast yet again. JUTHAMAS JANTAKAN looking for the open angle to take that shot. Couldn't find it in the end. Really needed to trust her right more than anything else. Decided to go on her left, and the chance was lost. YOTHANAN, who had a hot hand in the opening 3 minutes of this match, returns to the ball game. Singapore haven't paid a visit to the line yet, and the Thais have been knocking down free throws for fun. Jantakan is 100% from the line so far. Aerial loiter under pressure, manages to find a way through and find a pass out to Pauline, who loses the ball. Another turnover by the Singaporeans. Travel yet again by the Thais. Had just their 3rd turnover though. Double J that time, guilty of it. 7-point ball game, and a lot of it's down to the fact that Singapore have just turned the ball over too often, just giving away cheap points in this first period. Pauline setting the screen for Sarah Jane, and another turnover. Almost stolen. It will be now. Aerial loiter running into traffic, running out of it. Amanda tries to attack the rim. Couldn't get it to go off the backboard. It's end-to-end stuff at the moment. Both teams need some form of control over the match. The Thais now with another 3 off the board. In gets the lucky roll. And it's the first 3 for Jantakan, and it's the first 3 in the game to fall since the 2nd minute of the ball game. Pauline once again trying to set up the screen. 7 to shoot on the shot clock. This one has got to go now for Singapore. Doesn't, still can't get a 3-pointer to fall. Aerial loiter that time from outside. Just 6 points in this first quarter for Singapore. It's not just a poor shooting day, but as I said, they're just giving the ball away too easily. Aerial loiter, good fast handle hands, but not the pass though. Almost another turnover, but the Thais just slap it out for Singapore possession. A minute remaining in this first quarter. What has been a very messy first quarter for Murad and girls. CHERYL POON returns to the game in place of Amanda Lim, who's got her 2 points. CHERYL POON trying to make the movement outside. Pauline finally breaks away from her opponent. Gets up foul. And it was all about communication at the back, wasn't it? Well, CHERYL POON was the one who was used as a decoy to pull the markers away. And instead of following Pauline, Achara Kaichayapom decided to follow CHERYL POON and follow that decoy and fell hook, line and sinker right into it. So it's the first trip to the free throw line for Singapore. They have to take full advantage of it. Pauline hits the first of 2. Makes it 2 out of 2. It will be a timeout call by Thailand. No, it's not. It's actually a substitution as Ariel Loiter comes out and Charmaine sees action for the first time in this match. 8 points the difference. The Thais could have really run away with it in the first quarter if they had knocked down their shots. They're giving Singapore some hope. And it's a foul. Is that going to be a 3-point play? An opportunity for a 3-point play? I think it is. Is there continuation here? Yep, there was continuation. It is going to be an opportunity for a 3-point play. CHERYL POON picks up the foul as well to add to the medication. And it is a 3-point play successfully converted by the Thais. The lead, the largest of the ball game at 11 points. Backcourt violation. Charmaine C got the ball at the Thai side of the court and then decided to step right back into her own. And Murad is just pulling hairs from the amount of turnovers that they've committed in this first quarter, which is close already to double digits. They defended the perimeter well enough, Singapore, and also the paint well enough in this first quarter. They just haven't kept to the ball well enough. CHERYL POON trying to combine and work something else with Sarah Jane to open the lanes up. Sarah Jane reaching yet again, another turnover. And this time she has to commit the foul in order to prevent the fast break from Thailand. That's 10 turnovers in the first quarter alone for Singapore. It's hurt them big time. Amanda Lim returns to the ball game. Murad gives a consoling hand to Charmaine, who hasn't had a very happy minute on court. It will be whip upon Saichua. Misses the first, just the second miss for Thailand from the free throw line. Makes the second though. 12-point ball game, 14 seconds remaining, and the more defensive Suonon Sangtad comes on court now to make sure that she defends any sort of movement or screen that's going to be set up by ALANNA, who also checks back in for Pauline. So 14 seconds left to get some semblance of sanity right back into that first quarter, which has been crazy bad for Singapore. Sarah Jane Tan with 6 to shoot on the short clock now. It's Jacqueline Chu trying to run on, heaves up a little prayer, doesn't get it to go, and that's been the story of the first quarter for Singapore as they trail by 12 points to Thailand, 28. Welcome back to the Maba Hall in the start of the second quarter. Singapore just 3 out of 14. They haven't shot well at all. And 10 turnovers. That combination of not shooting well and turning the ball over far too frequently is a fatal one. And that has certainly hurt them in the first quarter. Not even reaching double digits in terms of points. 28, CHERYL Poon straight away under pressure. A great full court press put out by the Thais now as they go looking for the first 2 points of the quarter. Wide open, passing up on the easy J, deciding to go inside all by herself to take the contact and hopefully the points. Doesn't get the points, but does get the contact. Good enough to go to the free throw line. SUPIRA KLANBUT. ALANNA picks up her second foul. Singapore need a very fast start here in the second quarter. They'll start knocking down their shots, just thaw themselves out of the freezer and get red hot all over again. And who knows? The Thais are giving them an opportunity. They themselves haven't been too prolific when it comes to knocking down their outside shots, except for the number 6 YOTHANAN PENPHAN, who's led all scores with 11 points. Now they've intensified their defensive pressure, the Thais. You can see from the opening of this third quarter alone. Lovely pump fake inside from ALANNA. First points of this quarter, but then they see possession way too easily and taking full advantage of it with SUPIRA. CHERYL Poon once again faced with a tie right in front of her face. They have been pretty persistent. Movement was done by YOSHIDA. Amanda trying that little bunny hop and roll in to attack the basket. A little too overzealous in terms of the physical contact then. But this was great work by ALANNA. Little pump fake. Sarah Jane, another throwaway. Just can't be doing that. And 11 turnovers now. Looking for the flankers as much as possible before the ball inside for the Thais. That time a little fadeaway wasn't good enough. Jacqueline Chu goes coast to coast all the way inside the rim. Where is this going now? I think it will be tie ball. And it's almost a sign of frustration then from Jacqueline, who just decided to take things all into her own hands. Go attack the rim. Well, he just hasn't had that movement enough and the screen set up for the perimeter shooters to affect this game at all. A little too strong with that throw and gets a second chance point. Doesn't get it to go. Gets her own rebound though. That's good work by YOTHANAN. Was that a travel? It certainly looks like it. Singapore bench were calling for it. But JUTHATHIP. That is a foul on CHERYL Poon, and then throws it up, hoping for it to fall. Didn't get it to go, but does go to the free throw line. Well, they had so many opportunities, and it all came because of the hustle in the paint by YOTHANAN PENPHAN. Well, the last thing you need now is to also miss free throws. And CHERYL's missed the first. They are 50% from the free throw line. Singapore, it's only their 4th visit there. YOSHIDA returns to the ball game with the Lioness facing a 14-point deficit. The Thais really amping up the intensity in the second half. Second quarter, I should say. Another travel call on the Thais. That's the 4th time already they've been called for the travel. They've been okay with their passes, but it's their traveling that's hurt them. It's where all their turnovers have come from. Jacqueline Chu. CHERYL Poon from way outside. Still doesn't get it to fall. got to come up with a plan and come up quick. I think the strain of playing 2 days in a row, 2 games in a row, is getting to the girls at the moment. Good in-your-face work by Amanda. Maybe that might spark something in the Singapore side. They need a little spur here. Yoshida loses it yet again. Another turnover. They're down to the dozen already, but she somehow gets the ball back, and Amanda comes away with it. No room to attack the basket, no support as well. Yoshida, CHERYL once again going into the paint with a scoop. Still, she is ice cold. They've left the ties open for the 3. They don't take advantage of it though. Nuchaban. Another turnover by Singapore. Coast to coast, easy enough. Scooping it up under the paint. Nuchaban. And Kirk Murad will need to talk it over with his team. I'm sure he must have said it at the end of the first quarter to cut out the turnovers, but the disease has spread and the Thais have taken full advantage of it with a hot, fast start in quarter number 2.
We have 5 more. Not even halfway through the second quarter. We need to take better care of the ball. That's the bottom line. Don't be intimidated by them. They're up in your face, I know, the pressure, I know. Stop getting in positions where you get off balance and keep attacking the hoop. Just keep attacking the hoop. It's going to go in once in a while. Maybe you get a foul. Okay? But we got to be
going to the cup. We get whirl easy. Remember, when we do dump it, show them you come up high. Or Bo, you come up high. Stay in whirl and you'll get it. Alrighty? Then pull the 3.
The difference in the instructions from the coaches couldn't have been more stark. One just to protect the ball, the other one, we're okay with the ball. Just make sure that we throw it out for the open 3, because there are players on the periphery waiting for the 3-point shot, but no one's finding them yet. Jacqueline Chu, let's see if they heed their coach's advice to protect the ball a little better. Back to Jacqueline. Attack the rim, Coach Murad was saying. CHERYL's one who is very good at doing that. Yoshida with 3 seconds to shoot, takes the J. Doesn't even find the rim. 16 points, the biggest lead in the ball game for Thailand. And that's the movement that the Thai coach was talking about. And an open chance for the 3. Doesn't get it to go. Big rebound though inside the paint. And what's the official decide to call here? It might be a foul on Singapore and CHERYL POON for trying to prevent that run on by Tidapon. Kachayapun. There is Kachayapun. Kachayapun. Little hook shot doesn't go. Well, they're helping Singapore keep themselves alive in this match, Thailand, by missing their shots. But Singapore are not helping themselves. As they attack the rim, it's just no way around. The Thais just doing a superb job in closing doors and shutting them all out in front of their faces. ALANNA Lim picks up another rebound. And behind the back move by Jacqueline, once again taken out of her. The full court press by the Thais, not employed anymore after a very intensifying period in the start of this quarter. Yoshida hasn't really taken a shot in this game. CHERYL POON waited a little too long. Now there's pressure on her. Now there's 3 seconds to finally scoop it up. Gets it off the board, but that was all there was to it. Still hasn't gotten it to go. I don't know whether it's an injury or anything like that, but Lim Jia-min, who scored 33 points against the Thais at the SEABA Championships, hasn't seen action yet in this match. Tang Choi Ting gets her first piece of action in place of ALANNA. who is Singapore's top point scorer with 4. YOTHANAN trying to work off and bounce off the body of Yoshida. Is stronger over the 2, YOTHANAN, and gets a foul off Singapore's double Y.
You guys pick up over here. Pick up over here.
Super from the free throw line, 2 out of 2. As the Thais extend the lead. Yukie Yoshida running into an empty space, but everybody was on the other side of her. Amanda Lim had the ball stripped away. Super hustle work that time from Choi Ting. Shot from outside, still doesn't go. Super ice cold now, Singapore. The Thais this time throw the ball away. Jacqueline Chu running into traffic. Aerial loiter, back to Chu. Almost another errant pass. It is in the end by Jacqueline Chu. A great hustle work once again by Choi Ting, who gets a chance now to open her accounts for the SEA Games. Passes it up to Amanda and finally manages to bank it home. It's Singapore's 5th point only in this second quarter. Will that trigger something now? Because it was exactly to the coach's plan of attacking the rim. The Thais want it to be their ball, but instead it's called against Boapa. Choi Ting has certainly added a little bit of steel and character in this side since coming on. Tang Choi Ting, the number 12. What she gives up for in terms of strength and muscle, she certainly is just hustling for it, not giving up on every given situation. Wei Bin returns to the ball game and takes control of the ball. Yoshida. Amanda looking for the open teammate. 5 to shoot on the shot clock. Aerial loiter's got to get it off. She heaves up a prayer, doesn't even get close. Coast to coast, doesn't get it to fall though. So Pupra, Wei Bin back into traffic again, throws it away. 15 turnovers now for Singapore. Bounced off herself, Jantakan JUTHAMAS, and Thailand have given the ball away as well. Both sides have just not protected the ball well enough in this game. Way too many turnovers. Wei Bin tries to set herself up for the position. Aerial loiter from downtown. Finally a 3 drops for Singapore, and it is Amanda Lim with the first 3 of the game. Finally, the money's gone ka-ching for Singapore for the first time. 16-29 they trail. The Thais can't build on it. Will that signal a hot streak now for Singapore, just like it did at the end of the third against Malaysia? Good attack there by Wei Bin. Everyone was marked on the outside, so she decided to go all by herself and picked up the foul. Happy to take the contact, go to the line now. Well, they're 50% from the free throw line, and Murat knows when you get those easy baskets, the reason why it's called a free throw is because no hands on your face, you got to take advantage of it. Still 50% from the free throw line after Wei Bin makes 1 of 2. The Thais, well, it says here it's a steal, but a lot of times it's Singapore just throwing the ball away right into their palms. Gets the basket to fall and goes to the line. Sai Cho dictating. Magnificent low post spin move that time by Double J. And she too fails with her free throw. Paint violation. Call on the Thais. So as I said, the Thais are actually allowing Singapore to live in this game, and they should have just got away with it already and bought a ticket to another town. Loiter looking for the open space for the shot. She had it momentarily, but she had passed it up to Wei Bin already. Beautiful pass inside to Wei Ting. I think the 3-second violation on Choi Ting. She was waiting in there for almost forever for the ball to be passed inside to her in order for her to do her work under the rim. Double J with a J and 2 points. Jantakan brings it back to a 16-point ball game for Thailand. Aerial Loiter looking for the screen, finally gets it. The teardrop doesn't fall. 1:40 remaining. Thailand have a chance to extend this to the biggest lead of the ball game. YOTHANAN fakes the shot, attacks the rim, has it slapped away. Loiter to Yoshida. Loiter Choi-Ting inside, trying to set up the screen. And trying to get out of the plane soon enough, and they get out of the way for Loiter to attack it. Doesn't fall from the backboard though. She too has been ice cold after getting red hot against the Malaysians in the third quarter. A minute left of the half. Off the backboard. Strong presence inside by KLANBUT SUPIRA. Yoshida. Amanda, once again, the handles just fail. And it's the 17th turnover by Team Singapore in just this first half. Wei Bin trying to lead the charge now, heading into the final 20 seconds. Wei Bin goes all by herself. Thailand strip the ball off and will probably look to take the final shot of this first half. Yutada almost giving the ball away. 7 seconds to take the shot now. They're going for the final shot, and she's got to throw it up. She's got only 2 seconds left. There's no time for the pass. Thailand botch it up. But they still lead at the half, 35-17 against a Singapore side that have failed to keep the ball and failed to protect the ball. 15 turnovers contributing to that, and just 1 3-pointer drowned. Well, they'll need to just amp it up a little bit in terms of their shooting form, but more importantly, not to throw the ball away easily enough. 18 points, the difference between these two sides at the half.
Oh, one more. One, two.
Halftime at the Maba Stadium, home of the basketball competition, and Singapore's hopes of a medal from 2017 are slowly slipping out of their hands. And what was an achromic display in the first half, the girls came out lackluster, listless, threw the ball away way too easily, and just could not get the shots to fall. Murad wants them to attack the rims a little bit more, but a lot of times it's left with the guards to attack the rim, and that shouldn't be the case. The guards should be outside waiting to take those perimeter jump shots or even those three-pointers. The forwards are the ones who haven't been attacking the rims enough, even though the big center, ALANNA Lim, has been good enough in protecting it and providing screens. Movement though just has been very, very static so far. Thailand with the opening points of this second quarter. The third quarter doesn't get to fall. Boxing out to that time and committing the foul was Sarah Jane Tan, who scored Singapore's opening 2 points of this ball game. Has been pretty quiet since then, with a couple of turnovers. In fact, 21 turnovers in that first half alone for Singapore. The Thais haven't protected the ball well enough either. 12 turnovers from them. Working for the open space, and little scoop shots goes for MATHUROS. Her first 2 points of the game. Jacqueline Chu, another ball almost thrown away. The shot though taken a little too quickly. It's scrambled and it's kept. Chance for the three. Sarah Jane takes it from outside and nails it finally. Getting it to fall. Sarah Jane Tan with the opening basket of the second half, and it's a 3. Trying to use the backboard. Thailand failed to do so. Much better rebounding that time. Almost a team effort. A teardrop doesn't fall for Jacqueline. Once again, it's the point guard attacking the rim. The space and the avenues weren't open up for her. The 3 is taken from way downtown, in and out. Singapore survive. Jacqueline, CHERYL is there, once again seeking for movement. Sarah Jane Tan's been taken out of the paint. Yoshida, double Y, almost on the double. Just couldn't get it to fall. She's another one who's just been shooting poorly tonight. That's the way to attack the rim, with the space opening up if you're a point guard. And that's why I want to take advantage of it. PHROMRAT couldn't get the roll though for Thailand. That's great work by CHERYL. Did everything right except convert. PHROMRAT once again pulling the strings, dictating. Little fake was good enough. Jacqueline Chu trying to lead a breakaway here for Singapore. CHERYL POON steps back for the 3 from way downtown. Yet again doesn't fall, and she must be cutting a frustrated figure there. She's tried everything already but just hasn't made a shot from outside. Amanda Lim, Singapore's top point scorer with 5 so far in the ball game, returns on court. Thailand make a substitution themselves, with Sangtat taking a break. And SUREE PHROMRAT always wants the ball, needs the bounce to control it. Big center inside with a little soft touch and a beautiful convert by KLANBUT. YOSHIDA back to CHERYL POON. Still though, she hasn't hidden, and when she's had the opportunities, she's taken the shots and tried to attack the rim. ALANNA Lim back in the ball game, throwing the ball away. That's 22 turnovers for Singapore now, and a fast break point easily converted by Buapa. Jacqueline Chu. Nice little crossover move, a nice bounce pass to ALANNA. Last touch, ALANNA Lim. Thailand ball. We're seeing that quite a lot today from Murad. That shake of the head. Another turnover by Team Singapore. Spin turn was good, so too was the banker. Thailand built it up to the biggest lead of the ball game at 23. CHERYL. Jacqueline was wide open. That reverse scoop wasn't good enough for her. Well, she was wide open for a long while. If CHERYL had bounced the pass on a little earlier, it might have been an open basket for Jacqueline, but by the time it got the ball transferred to her, it was enough of an opposition from the Thais to put a body on her and prevent that easy layup. And just when you thought that hope was at the front door for Singapore at the start of the second half, when Sarah Jane Tan converted a three-pointer, they've gone to miss their next 3 shots and thrown the ball away once to allow the Thais to sneak right back into it. Yoshida. Jacqueline, once again, Alanna coming out of the paint to provide the screen for Jacqueline, and the teardrop goes. Brave enough to run right into traffic. And almost had that opportunity for a 3-point play then. And moves from the big center haven't been working on MATHUROS that time for Thailand. POON is absolutely in the freezer at the moment in terms of shots converted. None of them from outside. Her only point to the ball game has come from the free throw line. And Banmu ready to check back in, but I believe the Thais have called for a timeout with a lead at 21 points, 43-22.
I don't mind the shot you took, but Amanda's over here. I don't think the shot. Okay? Hey, keep your vision. If they're going to press us, we're getting a lot of good looks.
What again?
They're getting a lot of good
Is there
looks.
some reason why? Can't we run what's working? I get
And
it.
if they stop you, then you jump stop and you find somebody. We have to do a better job of controlling the ball when we get in the paint. Okay? I don't mind shooting the ball in the paint, but if somebody else has a better shot, stop and kick. Like on your layup right there, Atlanta was coming in. Yell it. I don't know if she heard you, but yell it out. All right. It's our ball underneath right here. Let's run 4. Let's really look. Let's run it for Amanda. Let's really look for Amanda.
Thai coach Christopher DeLeo certainly wasn't happy with the start of the second half. Now the team just diverted themselves away from the game plan. That's the reason why he's called for the timeouts, because the movement up front was okay, but defensively they just weren't compact enough. Yoshida stepped out for the 3. It finally comes from Amanda. It doesn't go though. Alanna almost a reach and foul then, got away with it. The 3 is finally taken. Thailand haven't been hitting it enough from 3-point range, despite hitting their first 2. That time it was number 91, My Home, who took that outside shot. They've thrown it away. The 13th turnover. Amanda with an opportunity to go all the way to the basket, prevented from taking the shots in the end, but she'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. She has been Singapore's top point scorer in this game. 7 points already for Amanda, including a 3-pointer. Just 2 threes falling for Singapore throughout this match. First of 2 free throws is good for her 8th point. And that's 9 points for Amanda now. 3 out of 5 field goals. She's the only Singaporean who shot above 50%. The rest of them, the likes of CHERYL, POON, hasn't even made a basket yet. The lead is 19 for the Thais, trying to just bully their way inside. Well, almost got it to go then. Teed up on my home. Alanna Lim picks up her second. She's leading all rebounders in this game with 8. Two out of 2 for the Thais, and it's a 21-point game. Full court press from the Thais now. Alanna looking for the open teammate, finally finds it in Wei Bin. The shot clock's being chewed down, so the shot has to be taken quickly by Ariel Loiter. Throws up an air ball. Say Chua inside for the big center. Banmu, still Banmu. That was a mismatch there, Banmu and Sarah Jane Tan, and she took full advantage of it. 23 points, the difference between these two teams. Loiter still can't find that avenue and the channel inside to attack the rim. Still Ariel Loiter. Wei Bin with a little J, trying to get it off the backboard, failed to do so. A good tip away by Alanna. The Thais with a turnover. And a boomtown then on Alanna Lim. Crashing right into her Supavadi Kunchuan. In her desperate attempt to get the ball back. After Banmu had unnecessarily just thrown the ball away to Alanna. Alanna. Loiter, fade away, doesn't go. Almost a good rebound by Amanda. At least she kept it alive. CHERYL POON returns to the ball game for Ariel Loiter. Just the 2 points for her, Ariel. Sarah Jane Tan from 3-point range hits her second 3-pointer of the second half. Thailand looking to respond. Pins not falling for the Thais though. CHERYL POON was in a lot of space for a while. Amanda doesn't find her. Wei Bin finally takes that shot under pressure. Ill-advised. Banmu, still Banmu, too big, too strong, and it took Alanna Lim just grab her hands out of the ball, and Alanna picks up her third. Well, Sarah Jane Tan trying to her very best to keep alive Singapore's hopes. Naruamon Banmu, first free throw, not good, couldn't get the roll. I think she knows in the stroke already what she needs to do for the second free throw. A little more spring on the legs, still doesn't get the roll, in and out. 2 free throws missed by Banmu. Amanda, hand right in her face, finds CHERYL. Sarah Jane, the hot hand from the outside, a running jumper doesn't go. Supapa really was more out of hope than anything else. She was looking for the foul then. The referee didn't give it. Wei Bin still can't get the threes to fall. Wei Bin, now Sarah Jane wide outside, open. Misses it completely. Chavin Boapa checks right back into the ball game for Thailand and handles it straight away. Well, the screen was being set then by Hachayapum, but illegally, says the referee. So Singapore ball and a 21-point deficit with 1 minute and 10 left in the third quarter. Jackie Chu, oh, off balance, and the hook goes. That was pretty enough. Singapore clamped down on defense, but the Thai somehow find a player outside for a free shot and gets a second chance points, which they take full advantage of. Supavari Kunchuan with a 2 to maintain this 21-point lead. Amanda looking for the angle for the 3, spins inside, gets it off the backboard. Kachayapum with a rebound for Thailand. And I think it will be a jump ball between her and Amanda, who is not about to give up the fight. No, it is instead Singapore ball. It's leaning into then Kachayapum. Sarah Jane. CHERYL passes up on the 3. Kachayapum picks up her second personal foul in the space of 6 seconds. Oh, that was so disappointing. Now Thailand with a final chance to heave up the shots before the end of the third quarter. They're taking their time though. Finally it's thrown from way outside and it's in. 3-pointer Thailand right at the buzzer. Throws up a prayer and gets a hallelujah. And they take a huge lead going into the fourth quarter. So the game stats for Singapore against Thailand. The good news for Singapore is that they turned the ball over only 3 times in that third quarter, but still they haven't been able to hit their shots from outside. Sarah Jane's been helping matters with a couple of 3-pointers. Other than that though, they now face a 24-point gap going into the final quarter, and a real miracle if they're going to keep their hopes alive of clinching a medal for the first time at the SEA Games in women's basketball since 2003. The Thais have scored most of their points in the paint. That's where Their centers and power forwards have done their work. Sarah Jane Tan has helped matters with a couple of threes from outside. Finally found her shooting stroke and got it in sync. That was the final point, right at the buzzer, beating it from Sechua. And straight away, once again, another point scored at the paint, this time from KLANBUT. CHERYL POON trying to free the outside shooter. How many air balls have they thrown up already in this match? Jackie Chu, the latest guilty party. Her highlight was certainly that little hook jumper she had running straight into traffic. CHERYL POON way outside, open is Amanda off the top rim. That's the confidence just seeping and sapping out of the girls in terms of their three-point shots. Even that one, that was way open. They couldn't find the target. Trying to work themselves into the paint before taking the easy two. That time Singapore protected it well enough. Amanda, CHERYL, hand and face yet again. Just had no chance at all to take free and open shots. Running jumper was almost good from Jacqueline. See, she goes to the free throw line to shoot two.
Personal foul, ready? Shoot.
Oh, her spirit is undying. There's no doubt about that from Jackie Chu. She makes 2 out of 2. Traveling was that. Oh, the foul called in the end. I think it was on CHERYL. In fact, the referee has overturned the decision and has called for a traveling on Maihom. Saw it from a mile away. Taleo doesn't agree with that decision by the umpire. So that was traveling, but he thought there was a foul before the travel was made. CHERYL finds Jackie Chu, passes up on the 3. Still CHERYL. Sarah Jane tried to use the backboard. Couldn't get it to go. Good hand on face that time from Sarah Jane, preventing the shot. CHERYL POON trying to lead it all up, still can't get a shot to fall though. Is there to ensure that life is difficult for Thailand. And kept it alive for Singapore. As I said, her shots might not be falling, but give credit to CHERYL POON because she hasn't hidden in this game. She hasn't found a pothole here at the Maba Stadium to put her head into. She's continued going at it and shown some great character. And Pauline checks back into the ball game. Loiters ball to CHERYL. Got free momentarily with a pump fake. CHERYL loitering just outside the three-point range for an easy shot. Has to go inside to Sarah Jane. Lob pass was a very good one to Pauline. Takes the contact, goes to the line. She made 1 out of 2 from the free throw line in the first period. But that was a very, very clever lob pass from Sarah Jane. Haven't seen enough of that from Singapore as Yoshida returned to the ball game. So to Charmaine.
Hey, let's not forget now. You ready? Hey, let's take a moment here. Let's not forget, when we're switching everything, there's going to be a time when she's going to be in the post, remember? When we have that mismatch and they roll that big person in the post, where do we come from? We come right away on the catch. Is that right? If she has that mismatch and we're switching.
We shouldn't give up an open layup, though. That's going to be between who's in the back. Going to be Yukie in the back. Let's put Sherman in the back. Okay. You two be super aggressive, trapping the ball or helping in the middle. Okay. The ball cannot get to the middle of the floor. So when the ball's here, we're trapping hard. Opposite wing's got to be here. Okay. I don't want you standing up here. I want you here. Make them reverse it around, and then make them keep the ball wide. All right. Knock these down, Paul.
And Coach Marat's addressed the situation. Too many points conceded in the paint from Team Singapore in this game. Make the Thais take the shots from outside because they haven't really been knocking them down. So the game resumes with Pauline at the free throw line. 50% from the free throw line. That's good. For 2 out of 3. And let's make this 3 out of 4 now. In and out, and the Thais picked up the rebound. PHROMRAT. Singapore somehow slap it away, and Jackie comes away with it, buzzing. Finds Loiter. Back to Jackie. Jackie Chu looking to attack the rim. A little bunny hop inside. Was that a travel? Called by the umpire. Well, it was a gleeful hop inside. Right here. Oh, that was a travel. First hop was fine, but the moment she planted the second foot down, that's okay. And then the second foot gone down before the ball was thrown up. And immediately the whistle was blown. Thais looking for the open shots yet again, and Singapore is working at moments in protecting the paint and making them shoot from the outside because they haven't been drowning those shots from way outside. Running right into traffic that time was My Home, brave enough to take the contact from Charmaine C. Left free for way too long. Free from outside, and she makes it clean. Sangtat Suiwon. Charmaine C. crowded out straight away, somehow comes out from the cul-de-sac and throws the ball away. She hustled, she got the rebound, and then she got herself free for that open shot. Little spin move inside, didn't work out that time from KLANBUT. Once again, at every given opportunity, they're looking to exploit and attack this basket and get as many balls as possible inside the paint. Pauline returned to the ball game, this time with ALANNA. So Singapore going with 2 bigs in place of Yoshida and Charmaine, just to make sure that there's a lot more protection under the rim. Shot's no good. ALANNA with her 12th rebound. Jacqueline can't get it to go off the backboard. That was a very strong rebound by Pauline, and I think she will go to the free throw line from it. Little Endeavor Industry making sure that it was enterprise enough under the basket to make that move ahead of her opponent and anticipate where that ball was going to fall. Turnover by Jackie. This will be an easy 2. KLANBUT picks her pockets and keeps the change. Another ball thrown away. KLANBUT once again picking another pocket. And almost getting a 3-point play that time was MAIHOM. Well, it's 4 steals already from SUPIRA KLANBUT. She's been a real kleptomaniac in this game. After 2 turnovers, Jacqueline Chu gets a rest. 28 points now the difference, an opportunity to make it a 30-point ball game. It's not going to happen because she's missed the first of her 2 free throws. MAIHOM makes 1 out of 2, and it's just 1 out of 4 from the free throw line. Alanna and Weipin to Pauline, and she gives the ball away as well. 2-on-1 break. Thailand with a fast break. Well, they decided not to dish out. MAIHOM might have been a huge error then. Would have done much better if she decided to pass the ball down. Well, this might be a first because Singapore are playing almost with 3 bigs there. Choi Ting, I believe, is back on court. And it's that kleptomaniac that we're talking about, KLANBUT, who went hustling for it and conceded the foul. Weipin, Sarah Jane Tan wide open down the flanks, but they can't find her fast enough. Another turnover by Singapore, this time by CHERYL. 27 turnovers. You can't win a basketball game with 27 turnovers and shooting poorly. Reverse layup is good from Thailand, and it's SUPIRA KLANBUT who's had a very strong 4th quarter. Weipin, CHERYL looking to make her first outside shot. Alanna Lim throws it up, not enough shape behind that ball, not enough arc and elevation. Thailand themselves throw it away for their 14th turnover. Weipin, CHERYL open for the shot and finally gets it to go. It's money for CHERYL POON, but it might be a little too late for that shot to fall from outside. Layup was easy and good from KLANBUT. Sarah Jane Tan, clever pass inside to CHERYL POON, trying to walk off the hot hand. It's 2 out of 2. Where was this stroke in the first 3 quarters, CHERYL POON? Looked for the travel, but they're not going to get it. Instead, it's going to be a foul called on Weipin. Pripapong Teichwa checks out as SUREE PHROMRAT goes to the free throw line to shoot 2. And she makes 2 out of 2. Another substitution for Thailand. In fact, Seichuan returns to the ball game now. Well, CHERYL POON all of a sudden has gotten hot. I said too late in the game to get hot, but at least she's knocking down her outside shots. That's another one that's gone for Singapore. Airballed. Sarah Jane Tan apologizes. That wasn't a thumbs down for anything. It's a cue actually for one of the tactical plays from Murad. It wasn't any discredit at all to one of his charges. Weipin thought had she had got the ball clean enough, but instead it's a reach-in foul against Singapore's number 11.
Number 11, Singapore. There the penalty.
Buapa returns in place of Maihom. The Thais have got a very deep squad. All players almost of a similar ilk and abilities, and because of that they're able to clear the bench as much as possible. I remember against Vietnam, they're just bench players just scoring for fun. 3:20 remaining. It's a 30-point ball game. The Thais in cruise control. Ko Wei Bin. Amanda. Still Amanda trying to work the near post. Sarah Jane Tan open for the three. This time she does make it. Down it goes for her third triple of the game. It was thrown up out of desperation as the shot clock was running up. It's a fast break on now for Singapore. They failed to take advantage of it. The pass had to be made much earlier to Amanda, who has been open for the longest time. CHERYL wanted to go on all by herself from coast to coast. Couldn't take advantage of that fast break. Now wide open for three, and it came from a different postal code, landing right into the marble hole. Buapa for Thailand, bringing the lead back up to 30. CHERYL Poon right now, that's from way outside. Well, it's garbage time here at the Marble Stadium between these two teams, and it could be time now just to throw out 3 pointers to throw the crowd with a couple of flashy Showtime exhibitions. Buapa this time looking for the open shot. He doesn't get it to go. Haven't shot well Thailand in this match, but somehow still managing to sneak in 70 points and maybe even more, with most of the points coming from inside the paint, and were helped tremendously by a very poor shooting night and turnovers from the Singapore side. The scoop shot doesn't go for ALANNA. Seichua. Buapa trying to work the paint. Wei Bin. Ball's thrown away for another turnover, which is the 26th of the game for Singapore. Charmaine C returns for the final 52 seconds of the ball game in place of CHERYL Poon, who finally got her goal scoring streak going, but only in the fourth quarter with a couple of 3-pointers drained. Seichua trying to dictate matters on the floor. Little crossover move, couldn't find the open lane and the open corridor. It's thrown outside and thrown away. Fast break is on for Amanda. He takes full advantage of it for the easy layup, with some semblance of respectability at least in the scoreline. .14 points in this quarter. Most they've scored since the second, when they scored 17. And with 7 seconds left, Singapore's hopes of a bronze medal go up in smoke against a Thai squad here, and a lot of it's very much self-sabotaged with the turnovers and their poor shooting nights. Just 8 points in the first quarter, 9 points in the second, 11 points in the third. The best quarter has come here in the fourth. That's been too little too late, and those turnovers have hurt Singapore greatly as they go down to their third consecutive defeat in the women's basketball. This time to Thailand, the final score 70-42.
Hey, great defense.
is good for